Hey girl, here's the selfie of us and a link to that social media page. I think your story can go witness viral.
By Satan and apostate thinking.
When was the last time you really felt heard?
And frankly, losing is all he can do because he's a loser. And he will always lose, especially when going up against Jesus.
You need to talk with your elders because you need help. And if you don't speak to them, I will.
Hey Justin, I want you to read this article I just sent you. It's gonna change the way you see the organization. Get back to me.
And they begin to sincerely ask questions that, unknowns to them, originates with apostates.
Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally, and today your mind is about to be blown. This is why I and many of you enjoy convention videos, because they show examples that when Watchtower closes their eyes and they imagine the everyday life of Jehovah's Witnesses and what that's like, and they give them counsel about that, it is fascinating. And we are going to talk about social media and apostates. So this is going to be a real good one. Quickly before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It helps it get out to more people on YouTube, and please subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I will do my part to bring the best quality content that I can, and if you could do your part and hit that little subscribe button, it would very much be appreciated, because I'm trying to hit the goal of 40, maybe even 45,000 subscribers by the end of the year. With all of that YouTube stuff out of the way, let's do this.
This morning we watched the portrayal of Satan repeatedly tempting Jesus. What were you thinking as you watched that? How wicked Satan is. How crafty. He did not hold back from tempting even Jesus. And he does not hold back from tempting us today.
Well, our first speaker was too cheap to buy the battle pass, so he is rocking the default Jehovah's Witness skin. My God. Anyway, he is coming out of the gates swinging. We are going straight into the madness, because we are talking about how Satan is always out there trying to get you. So he gives a short description about what his part is going to be about.
This first talk is going to focus on how we can resist temptation by using Jehovah's word to guide us and give us strength, how we can live on Jehovah's word.
So this is Watchtower Volleyball. The intro was the bump, and this is the set, and we're getting ready for the spike, which is the dramatization that's going to come. But he is essentially setting up this concept of doubt being the equivalent of Satan. This is the influence of the devil. And this is for a very important reason. If you're a Jehovah's Witness living a normal life, there are going to be times when you are going to allow yourself to think about what the organization is doing, how the doctrines are changing. What is this thing that is the most important thing in my life? You're going to just think these. And when you do, the Watchtower organization needs you to have a built-in mechanism that says, Satan, hey, don't ask those questions. That's satanic. You don't want to do that. Whoa! I was almost falling for a trap of the devil. So I got to make sure I'm on guard. No. Cognitive dissonance, I believe is what it's called. So we're going to talk about a very specific area here where Satan might be trying to influence someone. And that is going to do with the most uncomfortable thing. If you've ever been a Jehovah's Witness, you already know what that is. Yeah. You already know. Every convention they have a talk where they're talking about, yeah. And sometimes people do the funniest things where they'll look through the program and kind of strategically think about, oh wait, is this going to be the talk? Oh, maybe I can make sure I have an attendant assignment. Maybe I can go check the parking lot. Maybe I'll forget my bottle of water. Anyway, because it just makes everyone uncomfortable hearing this part. But let's hear what he has to say about the evils of.
How may Satan tempt us in a similar way today? Satan may tempt us, as he did Jesus, by appealing to a natural human desire. For example, Satan tempts individuals to satisfy sexual desires whenever and with whomever they want, rather than wait for an honorable marriage. Satan uses to fuel sexual immorality. And sadly, we live in a world where it is readily available, and viewing it has become normalized in the minds of many people. Why is it so harmful? Even if it does not lead a person to commit sexual immorality, it inevitably does lead to immoral, debasing thoughts. And often it leads to the practice of self-abuse, which is unclean. Countless viewers of pornography have damaged their marriage, their self-respect, their conscience. And when a servant of Jehovah views pornography, he damages his friendship with God.
Self-abuse is a really wacky term for masturbation. And anytime they say it, it always catches me off guard. Even though they've said it so many times, I just hear it, I'm like, wait, what did he just say? That's what they call masturbation. Now, me and Watchtower don't see eye to eye on many things, but their warnings against, while I'm, not in line with them, I think they're kind of, sort of orbiting around something kind of sane. This is just me and my opinion, but I don't think having gooner brain all the time and just being brain rotted is going to be a very healthy, effective way to live your life. I don't know if that's going to make a very efficient, healthy, well-integrated person if you're watching every single day. Just my opinion. What do I know? I'm just some goober on the internet. So, for what it is though, Watchtower, I don't think that this is an effective way of talking about it, calling it self-abuse, calling it this temptation from the devil, outlawing masturbation isn't going to help. I suspect, this is only a hunch, that because of the way Watchtower does this, they actually make the problem worse. I would be very curious. You'd never get an honest study with actual real data behind this, but I would be curious what the actual scientific imperial data would have to say about everyone else versus Jehovah's Witnesses and their habits surrounding and how often they view it and whatnot, and how it affects their daily life and their relationships and all of that good stuff. So I imagine that it's a big problem within the organization, and that's why they talk about it so much. And I think that when you talk about it in this way, it sort of foments the seeds for someone to become addicted. Anyway, just my opinion. With all of that being said, it's interesting that the Watchtower has some crazy definitions of what it actually is. So let's enter into the wacky world of this new drama. We're going to meet some interesting new characters. So yeah, let's run it.
Thank you for taking on some of the congregation responsibilities. Yeah. We're praying for that too. Okay. Hey, thanks, John. All right, bye. Hey, babe. It's about time for your meds.
My favorite one.
Hey, buddy. So what's your homework for today?
Math?
You need some help?
No, I think I'm okay.
Hi, everyone. We're back in town, and guess what? We got our house, and we had everything we wanted. Isn't her walk-in closet, heated swimming pool?
I'm excited. Chris and Nikki coming back in town.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
How long's it been?
About 15 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. These women are barely wearing anything. How did this stuff even get on my feed?
Hey, Dad. Maybe I could use your help here.
Sure, yeah. What you got there for, buddy?
We're meeting all of the characters of this story. We have our Jehovah's Witness family, parents, one son, and they have some old friends that are coming back into town and would appear they like to post on social media. This is going to be a very common theme, the dangers and evils of social media. They're going to take it to a completely different sphere, not the stratosphere, not the hemisphere, some other ionosphere, whatever is way out there. I don't know which the heck they are. Anyway, now that terrible joke that didn't land whatsoever. I don't know why I say these things. Now, as he's scrolling through social media here, you can't see exactly what's going on, so we don't know the whole context, but looks like some people are dancing, partying, whatever. And I just have to ask, has this guy ever been outside? Has he ever been to a swimming zone publicly? Has he ever been to the gym? Because people are going to wear what makes them comfortable, and that's okay. If you're pitching a tent in your pants because someone is wearing something that you're like, whoa, I can see shoulders and arms and body parts. Whoa, I don't know. That's a you problem. So this is someone just trying to be generally comfortable in a public area and doing things that are socially. I get like maybe if someone's doing something that's like way out there. I mean, for me, I don't really care, but I could understand how someone might be offended by something like that. But we're just talking about people that look like they're at a club or something, just kind of dancing. And they're posting about it on social media. Most social media has filters for specifically. So what are we talking about there, big guy? Like, or Watchtower, I suppose. What are we talking about? Like, people can't just wear regular clothes that they feel comfortable in. They feel comfortable putting it on. They don't have any problem with it. If there's an issue, it's with the person that is over-sexualizing them. Perhaps people that have a addiction, their brains might work this way. I don't know, just hazarding a guess here that maybe the people at Bethel have a little bit of sexual repression and they've been dealing with it by getting gooner brain. I don't really know, I'm just speculating here. But anyway, let's carry on and see what happens when he is by himself late at night and he gets a notification on his phone.
Hey, babe, you think I could bother you for a cup of tea?
Sure, babe. Why am I still getting these posts? Satan always tries to exploit our natural desires, like he did with Jesus.
If you are a son of God, tell these stones to become loaves of bread.
There are desires that we have that are natural, but satisfying those desires in a selfish way would not be right.
It is written, man must live not on bread alone, but on every word that comes from Jehovah's mouth.
If this app could lead me to damage my relationship with Jehovah, it's not for me.
Oh, we got to talk about this bad boy because we have gone off the rails, Watchtower. You've taken things too far. The goon and goober over here couldn't handle seeing a fully clothed woman with a shirt that goes all the way down to her wrists and pants that go all the way down to her ankles. And they're not even tight. They're not like super. What are we talking about? She's just wearing, in my opinion, a extremely, if not over the top, modest gym outfit. Like, this is something I would expect like an Amish Mormon to walk into the gym and be like, yep, here to work out. That's the type of outfit we're talking about. And this guy's like, whoa, why am I still getting these posts? Oh, I don't know if I can handle it. Brother, you need to go and see a therapist for this. If you are having some type of sexual reaction from something like that, you have a problem. You need to go to therapy and work on this. This is not a healthy way to be viewing a fully clothed woman just working out. Tossing her medicine ball from side to side. The shirt is even kind of loose, like nothing's jiggling, nothing's shaking. There's nothing going on here. And you can't handle that? And then he crashes out and is like, oh, this is obviously Satan. You know, clearly, this is just Satan trying to tempt me. I'm going to delete the app. I guess that's a place to start, but you also are not going to be able to function in the real world. If this is your standard, how are you going to go anywhere, to the groceries? Like, this is so baffling to me. So I imagine that Watchtower is just trying to really get across the idea that social media, bad. And that's going to be pretty consistent from what we see throughout all of these little skits, is social media is Satan. Doubts and temptation are Satan. And if you can bypass the circuitry in your brain that has any sliver of reason and logic still left, I know it's been eroded down and pounded into nothing, but if there's a little bit left, they want you to circumnavigate that and say, don't think. Just take these things that we're telling you, these situations we're telling you, social media and not even yoga pants, just women exercising, and think that's a temptation from Satan. This, real head scratcher. Hey there, sweetie. Are you looking for hot EXJW singles that are ready to swingles and will eat your Pringles? Well, you only need to do one thing. Subscribe to this channel. You'll thank me later.
What helped our brother to resist temptation? He thought of Jesus' example, how Jesus refused to satisfy a natural desire in a selfish way. Let me ask you what you think. Do you think it was extreme or unrealistic for the brother to actually delete from his phone an app that was presenting sexually provocative images? No, it was not.
Yes, it is extreme to do that because it doesn't actually address the problem. You are the problem. Watchtower, stop obfuscating people's responsibility for their own actions. If you are someone that cannot exist in the real world and handle someone wearing sports attire without sexualizing them and going into this horny rage mode, you need to get help. The app has nothing to do with that. It's not Satan. It's not the app. It's not the world pushing these provocative images in your face. It's you. You are responsible. But Watchtower doesn't want people to ever think in those terms. They don't want them to think about how they are a part of their own life. They want to make it as they're living this sort of transcendent, like floating between a liminal state between places of being, where you're just like not quite participating in your life, but you kind of are. You're kind of responsible for things, but you kind of aren't. You're just a little cylindric piece on Satan and Jesus's checkerboard, getting moved around. And that is how they want you to think about things, which is entirely unhealthy. And listen how he reinforces this idea by telling people that they need to redirect their mind and redirect their thinking as a way of dealing with an actual problem that they have.
And we need to do the same. When tempted, we redirect our thoughts. drawing strength from Jehovah's word, perhaps even quoting Bible verses that pertain to the temptation we're facing. That's living on Jehovah's word.
No, memorizing scriptures and redirecting your mind are not effective tools for dealing with a problem. You have to address it. You gotta attack the thing head on. If you keep pushing it down, it's gonna tap you on the shoulder one day. Hate to break it to you, but you can move as fast as you want through life. If you got those issues, they're gonna catch up with you one day. You have to deal with them. That's just how our brains are wired.
Satan failed with his first temptation, so he now moves on to a second. With the first, he tempts Jesus to do something miraculous. With the second, he tempts Jesus to do something reckless. The first time, Satan tried to get Jesus to test his own ability. This time, he tries to get Jesus to test Jehovah God.
Not too much interesting, just the normal JW jargon going on here, but he is very precisely trying to correlate how Jehovah's Witnesses think about apostates and the language and the tactics they use, and directly correlating with Satan. I wonder where that's going to end up. We all kind of know, but he does say stuff like this.
So, the devil, using this twisted reasoning,
as well as suggesting that Satan, and I imagine by extension apostates, are just kind of playing games. But they're losers anyway, so they'll never win.
Was Satan in effect saying to Jesus, well, two can play at that game. You quote a scripture, I'll quote a scripture. As if to play a game of wit, a game of two masterminds trying to see which one could outwit the other? Well, if that's what Satan had in mind, he lost the game because he misapplied the scripture. And frankly, losing is all he can do because he's a loser, and he will always lose, especially when going up against Jesus.
And then the real meat and potatoes is his introduction into the little drama that we're going to see, and it's the warnings of social media, how it could damage us spiritually. And they're going to really portray this in a way that I've never quite seen it portrayed for Jehovah's Witnesses before. But it is very fascinating, and a world that can be completely honest, I don't really understand because it didn't exist when I was a Jehovah's Witness. So it's interesting to kind of learn something new about what's going on inside the organization. So let's do this.
You like that story. I have so many more about your dad to tell you. So many more. I can tell you right.
That one tonight. But speaking of back in the day, look what I found.
Oh. Whoa, that was you and Chris.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, Pioneer School.
Mm-hmm. That feels like 1,000,000 years ago.
Well, hey, listen. Thanks for bringing dinner over.
Of course.
Happy to do it.
But I gotta go get some rest. Y'all keep catching up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get some good rest, Shay.
Yeah, rest up.
So you guys, seeing Nikki's post?
Come in.
Hey, Sheila.
Hey.
How are you feeling?
Not good. It's been a rough week.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, if it's any consolation, you look gorgeous.
Oh, girl, I don't know about that.
You do. You really do. Let's take a selfie. I'll show you. Then you will know how gorgeous you look.
A picture?
Yes. Come on, get up.
I'm a mess.
No, you look great. Wait. Make sure we look good.
The people that they saw the social media post for, looking all excited about their new house, are now over for dinner. Looks like they have some history. So the people they saw in the social media posts about the new house, and they said, oh man, it's been years since we've actually seen them. They have arrived, and they seem a little bit odd, a little bit strange. Why is she wanting to take a selfie? This woman's obviously has cancer. Maybe she doesn't want to take a selfie and post about it on social media. Have you ever just thought of being considerate when someone says, no, I don't think I'd like to do that? Of just accepting that answer, be like, well, no problem. No, come on, I promise. Let's make sure we look good. It's a little bit obnoxious. And when he brings out the picture oh, look what I found. Picture of Pioneer School. And he's like, what's that? Oh, Pioneer School. Long time ago. Very dismissive. Some might even think that they might technically be Jehovah's Witnesses, but they might be heading down a very bad course. We better keep our eye on them.
This would actually be a perfect post for this group that I follow. You should join. It's for witnesses, and we share stories about our personal health journeys and spiritual thoughts. It is very inspiring. If people could hear your truth, you would be an encouragement to so many people.
I don't think anybody wants to hear from me.
Shayla, you really need to think more of yourself. When was the last time you really felt heard? Cancer has taken so much from you. Don't you want to feel better?
This pisses me off. Let me explain why. I'm not the biggest fan of social media, as I often talk about. Not a huge fan of what it's doing to our culture, but I will always defend social media, and I have always defended social media, in that it is a valuable tool for specific people. People that maybe can't get outside of the house because of a medical condition. Maybe you're going through cancer and you're just wanting to connect with people so you feel seen and heard, have someone to talk to. That is a valuable tool of social media. Yet, the one thing that it's good for, the Jehovah's Witnesses want to poo-poo on it. Take a big old dump and not even wipe. I don't get it. There is one valuable aspect of this thing, and she even says it there. You know, when's the last time you felt heard? She's looking in the mirror like crying, just thinking about the concept of, yeah, when is the last time? I'm a Jehovah's Witness that is living an isolated existence already. Now I have cancer, probably aren't able to go out in service. People start forgetting about you if you're not showing up to the Kingdom Hall, if you're not going out in service. So and you're a woman in the organization, which is just 100 times worse. You don't feel heard. You don't feel like you have a voice. You don't feel any sort of connection to anything. Everything's happening outside of your control. And there's this one thing that maybe, hey, I can connect with other people. No, they want to equate this to the voice of Satan. Satan's telling you to be selfish. You want to be heard? That's selfishness. You want to be seen? That's arrogance. You want to have a voice? You need to learn some humility. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey girl, here's a selfie of us and a link to that social media page. I think your story can go witness viral.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to share my daily scriptural tip with you guys. Thank you so much for following all of my videos.
Hey everyone around the world, I want to thank you so much for all of your prayers, and especially...
Hi everyone that may be watching. I just really wanted to share with you all my truth about this whole experience.
Updating friends and family is one thing, but this feels wrong.
If you are a son of God, throw yourself down.
Satan tried to get Jesus to draw undue attention to himself.
You must not put Jehovah your God to the test.
No matter what I'm going through, I need to focus on what Jehovah promises and not bring unnecessary attention to myself.
Fascinating, Jehovah's Witnesses on social media. Obviously, this is a problem. I'm not a person that goes through the Jehovah's Witness social media sphere, but now I might be a little bit curious about, do they have like Instagram accounts? Jehovah's Witness viral? I'm assuming that's a type of thing. I've heard whispers and rumors about these things. I've never actually taken the time to investigate it myself, but it sounds absolutely hilarious. Oh, we're Jehovah's Witness famous. We're going Jehovah's Witness viral. What an expression. Here in 2025, who would have thought that people were trying to go Jehovah's Witness viral? And it is just kind of sad still because, you live this isolated existence as a Jehovah's Witness. You don't get any recognition. You're always told, just put yourself down, put yourself down. And people finally like, oh man, I can be popular. I can feel connected to other people. It makes me feel pretty good about myself. They don't want you to feel good about yourself. They want to feel good about themselves. Because who are the most popular Jehovah's Witnesses? Who are the ones that go on JW broadcasting? Who are the ones that will walk through a convention or assembly and take selfies with people? The higher-ups, the leadership of Jehovah's organization are able to live this celebrity lifestyle. But if an ordinary Jehovah's Witness wants to emulate that same thing, it's bad. It's literally Satan. It's literally like they're trying to draw a one-to-one direct line. This equals Satan. And it's the exact thing that the governing body do. How do you put this together without any level of self-reflection? Do you own a metaphoric mirror? Do you have one that you can just step outside of yourself for a tiny speck of a second and say, kind of talking about us, boys, do you think we should really actually put this out there? It is wild. So anyway, if you are a Jehovah's Witness or still in the organization, let me know what this whole Jehovah's Witness viral stuff is all about. I'd be very curious to learn a little bit more about it. Maybe I'll make a video about it in the future. With all of that, let's move right along.
Well, we can imitate Jesus by rejecting Satan's attempts to have us test Jehovah through disobedience. And like Jesus, remain on guard so as not to be misled by any unstable ones who twist and misapply the scriptures. And as pure worshipers, exalt Jehovah God rather than draw attention to ourselves. The main point, don't test Jehovah.
So someone that is suggesting to you that you should be seen and heard, that you could connect with other people that are also dealing with a similar issue, that you could encourage spiritually, even in the Jehovah's Witness sphere, you could help encourage them spiritually. If someone that's encouraging you to do any of those things is an unstable one, that is the conclusion of what we just witnessed. Is that the lady with the curly hair and the red lips? She is very unstable, honestly. She seems to be like a fairly practical person. I really don't get how they're not self-aware enough to realize the duplicity of this nonsense. The organization sets up JW Broadcasting, their own social media platform, video streaming service, where they get to be featured in it. They force it on everyone. You got to watch it every month. You got to keep up to date with the chariot and all that stuff. They can receive all of this praise. They can use it as a way to drive up donations. Hey, money's a little short. Can you guys donate a little bit more? Oh, sure. They can be celebrities within the Jehovah's Witness world. And yet when someone just wants to have a tiny little, someone with cancer, someone that's struggling, just wants a tiny little bit of recognition. Nope. Can't do it. Evil, satanic thinking from an unstable person. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, let us move right into our next section and see what the teenage son is going to have to deal with. Now, you probably already are very familiar with the formula that they're using here, but I am going to do a little Watchtower playbook activity 3 times for emphasis. So we have what Satan is trying to do and using language that people are going to identify with apostates.
We know that Satan loves to take a truth and then twist it into a lie. Satan knew the truth that had been foretold about Jesus, that Jesus would rule mankind.
Followed up by how Satan is going to try and attack modern-day Jehovah's Witnesses. So in this instance, it's going to be about the prosperous, wondrous, lavish, worldly lifestyle that Jehovah's Witnesses are constantly seeing.
But what about today? How does Satan tempt us today? Well, Satan may try to offer us tempting opportunities to enjoy material things. Again, Satan takes a truth and twists it into a lie. The truth is that Jehovah has promised all of us an abundance of material things in the new system. But for us to receive those blessings, we need to do Jehovah's will, we need to endure the hardships of the last days, and yes, we need to wait. We have to wait for Jehovah's appointed time to experience the complete fulfillment of these promises.
And that will lead us directly into the next section of our dramatization. We're going to see what the teenage son is dealing with regard to schooling, education, and his future.
That's great. Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
So who wants dessert?
I'll have a little piece.
And I'm going to have a lot. So, Aiden, what you been up to lately?
Well, I'm about to graduate soon.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait. And, I'm thinking about applying to Bethel.
Okay, Bethel. All right, really?
Yeah, I've been wanting to do it since I was a kid.
Okay.
Bethel's nice, but you got to think about your future.
Yeah.
How will you support yourself, or how would you support a wife after Bethel?
You can still serve Jehovah right here.
That's true.
I know. I get it. When I was your age, they told me the end could come tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
But look at us. We have a real comfortable life.
And we're still witnesses, Aiden. You're so young and smart. There's so many opportunities open to you right now. It's nice that you have spiritual goals, truly. But you also need to be realistic.
He's being realistic.
This is such a realistic situation that would actually happen in a Jehovah's Witness dinner party. I know this for a fact because my grandparents, they had their own version of being Jehovah's Witnesses. They still shun me. It's a very odd thing, but I specifically remember my grandpa saying these very words. Well, when I was young, they said that the end was going to come tomorrow, and I watched a bunch of people at 1975 sell their houses and start pioneering, and look where that got them. So you have to be realistic. You can still be a Jehovah's Witness, but you don't have to throw your future away just in case. And turns out he was right about that. Because here we are, all these years later, and the end still hasn't come yet. And every single time they proclaim it's going to happen in someone's lifetime, it's going to happen within this generation, you should sacrifice your future because it's so close. Every time they've said that, it's been wrong. And so, why are they stopping this lady when she's really cooking? The mom comes in, he's being realistic. The governing body has told us he's being realistic, so therefore he's being realistic. They're actually giving a valid, sound argument, and there's no response to this. There's nothing you can say. Well, yeah, it's true. They have been saying, when I was your age, they were saying that the end was right around the corner. And I'm still here, and I'm still a witness. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being a Jehovah's Witness? And also having a little bit of comfort. Do you not get to make it to paradise? Well, you know, you're still a Jehovah's Witness, so you're going to get to make it to paradise. What's actually wrong with that? Do you get less benefits, or are you, when they're assigning land, are you going to have to go live on top of a mountain and be like Santa's little elf or something? Well, I'm going to have the beachfront property? Is there going to be something like that? Is that what you're worried about? There's nothing wrong with being comfortable and being a Jehovah's Witness. Their logic is sound. And whenever their logic is sound, the Jehovah's Witness mind doesn't actually attack anything they say. They just circumnavigate it, which is going to get really interesting as we follow this couple's sort of arc to its logical conclusion. Pretty sure you guys all know where that's going. Anyway, so let's see how the son is going to deal with this satanic temptation or thought process, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways you can serve Jehovah at Bethel.
Like what? Washing windows?
But if it means putting Jehovah first, is there anything wrong with that?
Of course, nothing's wrong with that. It's just that he could have so much more.
Anyway, lunch was amazing. Thank you so much, Shayla. I can't believe you did all of this for us.
What especially motivates so many to serve at Bethel? Love for Jehovah moves us to put kingdom interests ahead of...
Hey, you okay?
Yeah.
Hey, don't let Chris and Nikki get in your head. Their focus seems to be off. Did you want to talk about it?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks, Dad.
Okay.
Satan has always done this. He tried to tempt Jesus with what the world could offer. But Jesus didn't focus on himself. He focused on Jehovah and doing his will. That's what I'm gonna do.
Submitting your application may open a door of opportunity to serve Jehovah and his organization in a variety of ways.
I'd be curious what the dad would have said. Hey, do you want to talk about it some more? No, I think I'm okay. They don't, when Watchtower is writing these scripts out, they don't want to actually break down the argument. They don't want to go into a reasoned discussion about the objection that was raised, do they? They just want people to say, hey, do you want to talk about it? No, I'm good. And that be the end of it. Almost like they don't want people to really think about things. Almost like if you start actually reasoning on it, you might come to a slightly different conclusion than the Watchtower would like, because I don't see a way out of this one. Oh, I mean, what are you going to say? I can still be a good Jehovah's Witness and also have a comfortable life. Don't have to be a window washer. They even say the meme, the window washing Jehovah's Witness. We all know it's a joke. It's been a joke. It'll always be a joke. Even Watchtower is making jokes about it now. You don't have to be that. You can have a comfortable life and still serve Jehovah. No response, no answer to that, which is all sort of building up to the big whopper here. The moment we've all been waiting for is, now that we've learned these valuable skills of how not to think and to correlate what people are saying that might be not perfectly in line with what the governing body says, to think of that as coming directly from Satan. Because when you put this all together, you are now prepared to deal with an encounter with an apostate.
Bethel's nice, but you have to think about your future.
If people could hear your truth, you would be an encouragement to so many people.
When I was your age, they told me all the time that the end could come tomorrow. But look at us. we're still here, and we've been able to make it.
What's wrong?
I'm worried about them. They're different.
Yeah. I kind of felt that too.
You know, whenever I ask him how things going in their congregation, he won't give me a straight answer.
Really?
And he's always shifting the conversation to something negative about the organization.
How? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. But I sure hope I'm wrong.
Golly gee willikers. What negative things is he shifting the conversation to about the organization? What is it specifically that he's saying? I'm a little bit curious. What possibly could it be? What's he hiding behind his back there? They will never actually talk about a real problem, a real issue that apostates bring up. They do it in this veiled way. Anyway, we won't get too far ahead of ourselves, but I find it just fascinating where they're just like, what are you going to do? I don't know. And next scene.
Hey, Justin, I want you to read this article I just sent you. It's going to change the way you see the organization. Get back to me. Did you get that message I sent you?
Why would you send that to me? Better yet, why are you reading that garbage? It's all lies.
Garbage? How do you know if it's garbage if you haven't even read it?
Listen, you need to talk with your elders, because you need help. And if you don't speak to them, I will.
Wow. That's what you feel. I need help. I don't need any help, man. I'm finding the answers to my questions, bro. And I'm keeping an open mind.
Open mind? You're ignoring Jehovah's thinking. The truth saved our lives.
Look, man, how long have we known each other? I would never steer you wrong. I'm not out to hurt you. I'm trying to help you. How long have you known me?
Tell these stones to become loaves of bread.
I'm trying to share with you the truth.
Throw yourself down.
Do you really think I would steer you wrong?
I will give you all this authority.
I definitely don't need any help from them.
Do an act of worship before me. Go away, Satan!
Stop. There's only one truth, and it comes from Jehovah.
You're gonna walk away like that? What are you so afraid of? Man, stop being a coward. Don't be weak. They're just telling you what you need to do. You need to think for yourself.
For it is written, it is Jehovah your God you must worship. And it is to him alone you must render sacred service.
This is my new least favorite video because it is going to reinforce the most frustrating, annoying, impossible to deal with situation. If you are someone who is trying your best to talk to a believing Jehovah's Witness, to try and get them to have a sliver of humanity and think critically for 5 minutes. The worst thing you can possibly encounter is someone who will just not engage with you. They won't answer a question. They won't talk about it. They won't discuss anything. They'll ultimately just be like, no, you're wrong because you're wrong. And I know you're wrong. The truth saved my life. Don't know really what that means, but therefore you're wrong. And you know what? I'm going to report you to the elders. I'm going to threaten you if you keep talking this way. And then I'm going to get in my car and leave back in the driveway. And he tries. He says, how long have you known me? That is so frustrating. It's like, you know me. You know we have been through so much together. We've known each other for 10, 15, 20 years. You know who I am. You know the person I am. No, I don't. I don't know you anymore. And how fascinating, right? We saw the build up to it, where they're trying to correlate everything that an apostate might say, the language, the tactic, whatever, they think, into the words of Satan. And then instead of just having this subtle correlation, boom, right there in your face, where he is speaking as if he is Satan. They want Jehovah's Witnesses to have a block, a barrier built into their head, where you hear anything negative against the organization, and it's a kill switch. Whew. Conversation ends. First, I'll threaten you. Stop. Or I'll report you to the elders. If that doesn't work, I'm getting in my car and I'm walking away. Which is interesting because you think about the examples that they're using. Jesus replied to Satan. He replied with a scripture. He engaged on some level. Brief as it might have been, he engaged on some level. And yet the Jehovah's Witnesses have extracted the example that Jesus gave, the example that's in the Bible, to be ready and prepared to answer anyone questioning you. Literal scriptures in the Bible, commandments from God, that say, no, you should be ready to defend your faith. You should be ready to test it. Keep making sure that it's true. They've extracted all of that, thrown it in a blender, and poured it in a little diarrhea shake, so people just will have the exact same reaction. Oh, gotta go, sorry. And that's it. Shuts down the entire conversation. I think that this is going to have a detrimental effect on people in the organization. I think that Watchtower did a very good job in building this series of talks, in building this narrative for reinforcing the idea that they just need to shut their minds off, get in the car and drive away. As far as like propaganda goes from Watchtower, 10 out of 10 on this one. This one will be effective. It's ridiculous. It's insanity. But if I was a Jehovah's Witness sitting there, it would work. It would really work. I think it would. There's a hope that it's just because they don't answer, because they don't ever address the real problem, that maybe someone will see this like, well, what were the questions? What were the things about their work? What did he send them? Those people are probably going to leave anyway if they're asking those types of questions. For the vast majority of witnesses, I think this will actually work. So really scary stuff, honestly, because teaching people how to shut off their critical thinking, teaching people how to not engage with anyone that is going to raise objections to you is such a dangerous prospect, especially in the context of them listening to whatever the governing body says, even if it doesn't make sense. So they are sacrificing their humanity, giving up their ability to be a person, and just going along like a little puppet with whatever the governing body has to say. Anyway, sorry to blue ball you here to the very end of the video, but we had to get the whole build up, the whole context, so that way it really made more sense. I guess we'll see what this guy has to say about, or some of the comments he makes in this talk, and then we'll wrap it up.
Wasn't that a powerful dramatization? What is depicted here is truly a sad reality of what exists today. But did you note how the family in the video strengthened themselves by considering the example of Jesus Christ? How Jesus' example helped them to stand firm and resist the negative influences of the family who were overreached by Satan and apostate thinking. As noted in our video, if we're faced with like circumstances, what should we do? Suppose there's a brother or sister in the congregation who have been affected or influenced by apostate teachings or reasoning, weakening their faith, causing them to have doubts. Well, as noted here in Jude, this would be an occasion for us to show mercy, using the truth of God's word, the Bible, to help build up their faith and recover them. Or suppose we have a relative or someone who's interested in the Bible, and they begin to sincerely ask questions that, unknowns to them, originates with apostates. See, in that case, as Jude mentions here, by us using God's word of truth, we can help snatch them out of the fire, so to speak, by using God's word to answer their sincere questions.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. See, in the video, I feel like that's what they want Jehovah's Witnesses to do. Not respond, not engage, get in the car and drive away. That was effective. But then afterwards, during the talk, he's saying that we should try and help people. So I don't really know what to make of that. Because that wasn't really what was happening in the video, now was it? I suppose, hopefully people will listen to the words of the talk and not the drama, and they'll take seriously that part. I highly doubt it. But those two things, I feel like they're complete opposites. The Jehovah's Witnesses don't want to actually sit down and have discussions with people that are influenced by apostate thinking, because they'll be quickly exposed as being right. Yeah, anyway, that was fascinating. Comment down below what you thought about that, huh? That was a wild time. Anyway, that ends the Friday morning. So Friday afternoon is next. There was one other section here. It was talking about some prophecies of Jesus and the Bible and this, that, and the third. I'll be completely honest, I didn't watch it. Just kind of skimmed through it and was like, okay, yep, got it. Prophecies seemed a little bit boring. Maybe we'll tackle that in a live stream or something. We'll see how that goes down the road. But yeah, that is what we got for the Friday morning. Next up will be the Friday afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to drop a like on the video. It really does help the channel out immensely. And it's a great way that you can freely support the channel. So I very much appreciate that. And if you're still around, don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe. Be kind, and don't forget to spend more time loving the things you love than hating the things you hate. Now go out and have a good-ass day.